الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ثم أما بعد. Inshallah, do you have any questions, brothers? Particular questions? I got the list of questions that have been given to me. رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ثم أما بعد. Inshallah, do you have any questions, brothers? It went to the sorry.
It appears to be repeating you, sir.
Yes. So I closed it opened the page and it was repeating. So anyhow, any particular question from your side, inshallah?
Can't remember at the moment, but as soon as it clicks in, we'll let you know.
Okay. So someone is asking about organ donation. Now it's changing in the UK, and it was opt-in first, which means if you do nothing, okay, they will not take your organs after your death.
Okay.
And now it's opt-out, which means the default is that they will take unless you tell them not to. Okay.
So basically, they'll take the organ now. If you tell them not
if you die, by default, you are logged in. You are subscribed.
Okay.
Unless you go and unsubscribe.
Okay.
Before it was opt-in option, which means you are by default not subscribed. If you want, you go and subscribe. Obviously, most of the people will not go and subscribe, so when they die, they will not take their organs. Now bring the thing again to the organ donation. Some people, you will find some people sending some messages says, look, this is the case happening, you should opt out, or it's haram, or. What do you think, brothers? Is halal or haram or what? Yes, brother Hassan.
If we go again back to the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to, for example, if you save one life, it's as if you are saving the whole of humanity. And if you obviously take one life, you are taking the lives of the whole of humanity. From that point of view, I would say that it's actually halal, because you're actually helping people, even though you're dying, but it may help somebody else to live.
While that is correct, but the other people saying it is just your organs are not yours, meaning Allah has given them to you, and you cannot donate something that is not yours, or you don't have the decision over what to do in these, because this has been to you by Allah. So actually we got more than one opinion in this regard, but what you have said, brother, is the opinion that I agree with, and actually many scholars have opined this opinion, that yes, if you are donating it and it will cause another life to be saved, because you are dead anyhow, even during your life, if it's not something that will affect your well-being, you're like donating one of your kidneys for your brother who's dying, who lost both, for example, as long as it's a donation with the intention of saving a life, then it would be permissible. But if it turns into a business, selling and buying and doing some money out of it, it becomes completely haram. Okay, so the other opinion just says, because, and even that, some of the opinions say you cannot even donate blood, because it is not your blood, Allah has given to you. But subhanallah, when this brother, some Sikhs actually did, the Jehovah Witnesses and others, when they need blood, they believe it is completely haram for them, even they're non-Muslims, and they don't give or take blood. They prefer to die than to take the blood of someone else. But actually many other people who in the Islamic view, they say when they need blood themselves, or they're in the hospital, they say, okay, it is darura, it is necessity. So it is obviously, it's something that is, according to common sense, it is needed, it is necessary. You are at no risk to you, or at very little risk to you, giving a life to another human being. You'll find some bizarre opinions saying you can give it to a Muslim but not to a kafir. Obviously this excludes, brother, obviously that's when we say you give, Allah, when he spoke about saving a life, he didn't say saving a Muslim life, it's saving a life, human life. So you will give to a Muslim and non-Muslim. And if you're saying I give to Muslims only, on your need of it, you will say, well, Lord, hold on, is this coming from a Muslim or from a non-Muslim? You won't care, because it is humanity now, brother. It's not Muslim or non-Muslim. That's one thing. And also this applies to things which are of essential nature only, such as, for example, the limbs, the heart, the kidney, the lungs, things like this. So you cannot donate, for example, your hair to someone. It's not. Also, the sexual organs cannot be donated. First, because it's not essential, which means if someone does not have sexual organs at all, he or she will still live. Also, donating the sexual organs will result in a kind of mixing of progenies. You understand? So it needs to be something that is required for human life to continue, for the life of a human being to continue. Is that clear?
Okay.
Okay. The other question we have: what is the ruling on terminating a pregnancy? What we call abortion nowadays. Okay, so obviously it is haram to kill a human life for any reason. Okay, and when you abort, that you are killing a human life. So we got many opinions in this, but the bottom line, after 40 days of pregnancy, you are not allowed to resort to abortion at any case. Why 40 days? Because before 40 days, the soul has not yet been given to the embryo or to the feast. So in the hadith, that when the child or when the embryo or the feast is 40 days, Allah will send the angel to breathe the soul into it, and Allah will decree whether he will be doomed or will be happy, will he be good or bad. Anyhow, so before 40 days, it is not yet a living creature, so abortion is allowed. But after 40 days, it is now a living being in the womb of his mother or her mother, then abortion is not permissible. Only at cases of severe necessity. What are the cases of severe necessity? When the life of the mother is at danger. This is the only case of severe necessity now. Not because you're fearful that you have 4 now, and the 5th child you don't have enough income to support it. Allah will send him or her with their income, inshallah. And if you are afraid of Aila, meaning poverty, because of having many children, don't worry, Allah will provide for you from His bounty. And Allah mentions in the Quran, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُم مِّنْ إِمْلَاقٍ. In another ayah, خَشْيَةَ إِمْلَاقٍ نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُهُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ. Do not kill your children because of imlaq or because of the fear of poverty. We provide for you and for them. And another ayah, for them and for you. نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكُمْ وَإِيَّاهُمْ. Another ayah says, نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُهُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ. So Allah is making it haram to kill a child for any reason, even if the child is conceived from a haram, means like zina or like even rape. You're not allowed to infringe on their lives for any reason. And obviously it is a double sin, killing now and also infringing upon a life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not authorized you to kill. So abortion after the 40 days of pregnancy is absolutely haram. The only case is when the mother's life is in danger. Only then. So if you're being told that the child, some case was going to have with some form of disability, was going to be Down syndrome, okay, that's how Allah decreed it for them. Life will become harder for you, but you should accept the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not enough reason for abortion. Okay. Only if the mother is going to die because of that pregnancy, this is the only necessity that allows you to make abortion or to request abortion at that time. Contraception now. Contraception. This is another question related to this series of questions. Is contraception halal or haram? When you take contraception pills or the coil, the wife fixes the coil or whatever. So it is halal or haram. Somebody says you are preventing lives from coming, but there is no actual life here because it didn't happen. And in many hadith, the Sahaba report that they were they were performing something called coitus interrupts, which is azl in Arabic. When they were having a relationship with their spouses, before they ejaculate, they will kind of take away their sexual organ away, so the ejaculation will come outside the sexual part of their wives, which means what causes pregnancy, which is a semen ejaculation of the husband, will not happen. So this was a means of contraception. And one of the Sahaba says, "Kunna na'zilu wal Quran yanzil." We used to perform coitus interrupts while the Quran was being revealed. So they were having a contraception means that was available at the time while the Quran was being revealed, which means had there been anything wrong with this, Allah would have revealed something to prohibit it. Okay, so the contraception is halal based on the fact that you want to have just some form of organization in your life. You don't want your wife to be one year pregnant, 1 year or 2 years breastfeeding, then all the time she doesn't have a break. No, you want to leave a gap between each child and the other 3-4 years, for example, so you can look after them very well, guarantee that your wife has also some break, because obviously the child is growing in the mother's womb, is eating from her body, from the calcium she's eating. That's why women who have consecutive pregnancies, they have problems with the calcium levels, with the bones, okay, because the child also feeds on all of this. So he takes all the minerals from the wife's or from the mother's body. So it is really reasonable to have some form of gaps. But to say, listen, I'm going to have 2 children only and stop at this, no, that is not allowed. You carry on the cycle, living some years. It's up to you to decide how many years between each child and the other, but you are not allowed to listen, I have only 2 and stop. No. Got it? So that's what we call family planning, which is permissible. But birth control, which means I'm going to have 2 children, one now after and one after. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may prevent you or may deprive you from having any of these children. Okay, so you need to actually consider this very well. So family planning, having a child, then waiting a few years or a few months extra to have another child, that is fine, inshallah. But birth control, which means I'm going to have 2 children only, no more. And some people resort to some severe methods by, for example, disabling the womb of the mother, so, or doing a tie on the womb, she can no longer be pregnant any time after that. That is completely haram, because you're stopping her completely from having children. What happens if she is divorced from you, or if you die and she wants to get married to another man? Then you are kind of making her barren forever. That is haram. That is this clear, brothers?
Yes.
Okay, any more questions, inshallah? Another question here is not very related to this, is if you die and have a credit card debt, what happens normally? What does a credit company do here in this country?
Well, over here, Sheikh, whether you have any sort of loans, be it credit cards or any other form of loans, it will actually go onto your estate. So in other words, if you own a house or houses, then there will be a charge upon that particular property. Now, that doesn't mean that the wife has to sell it straight away if she remains after you. But in the event that the house is sold, then the money has to be paid back to the bank.
Okay, that is good. So anyhow, let's say the person who died has no ownership of anything at all. What happens?
Then it will be written off, because there's no way they can get the money.
Okay, so that is the legal way in Britain, yeah? So
Yeah.
Islam is obviously credit cards. If you use them, they charge interest, yes?
Depending, actually, if you pay the whole lot off in one every month, then there's no interest.
Yes, that's the point I want to make. Because they charge interest, it is haram to use them in a way that will make you pay or even receive interest. But if you pay within the 1 month allowance period, then it is okay, because it is a loan free of interest. If you know, or if you are not sure, if you know that you cannot pay within 1 month, or if you are not sure, then it's haram for you to use the credit card. Clear? Because whatever will lead you to interest. Now, someone died and he knows that his father used his credit card and his father has nothing. What happens? Should he stay quiet? Or for example, his father has taken a loan from the bank for buying a car or whatever. Irrespective, now I'm not saying the loan from the bank is halal or haram. I'm saying that happened, he died with money on him. That money will usually, according to the law of the country, because the father doesn't own anything to pay it back, will be written off. Yes?
Yes.
No, it is the responsibility of the inheritors to pay the money back. And the father will be held responsible before Allah, even if the law of the country will make it written off. Because the law of the Sharia is that if you die with a debt, the same way you're going to inherit from me, if I leave money, you're going to pay my debts. He will be prevented from entering the Jannah until this debt is paid. It can be credit card, it can be mortgage, it can be anything else. Whether he has taken it in a halal way or in a haram way, it doesn't matter. It is a debt now and it has to be paid. And it is the responsibility of the next of kin and all the inheritors to pay that.
Okay, but if someone dies, he doesn't know, and he obviously he doesn't know, and he doesn't own anything, and he dies, and his children doesn't pay.
Wallahi, he will be taken responsible for that, and the children will be sinful as well, because at the end of the day, it is his own debt. Yes.
Okay, but
now it is a Sharia responsibility upon the kids to pay it. If they don't, and there are many reports in the Sharia which say that the deceased, even if they die fighting in the cause of Allah, they will be stopped from entering the Jannah until the debt is paid on their behalf. And the Prophet ﷺ refused to pray janazah on many sahih, one or two of them. So it is really severe matter. So you can be stopped from entering the Jannah just for having £1 debt that you bought some lollipop for your grandson from the thing and you didn't pay it. So it is really serious. That's why you need to have a wasiyah, a will written, and ask your inheritors, right, I owe this much for that person owes much to me, distribute that money in that way according to the Sharia. It is really necessary, brothers, to do that, because you don't want your Jannah to be binding on just £1 or something like this, or even the whole world. Okay? Alas, Jazakumullah khairan. We'll stop here, inshallah, and we'll carry on, inshallah, on Wednesday.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh.
Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.